Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, NFL Wild Card Weekend! The following contests will be scheduled for one fall, and teams will be eliminated until only one team in each conference remains. Then the two remaining teams will then face off at the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. I mean the Super Bowl. 12 of the teams that have qualified for the playoffs have been this season's Lock of the Week winners. So without further delay, let's dig into it. On the AFC side, Pat Mahomes leads his Kansas City Chiefs to the couch as the Kansas City Chiefs get the bye week after doing nothing, thus letting the Broncos into the playoffs after the Chiefs barely showed up in their 38-0 loss to said Broncos. The Detroit Lions on the NFC side actually had to show up to their game and win it in order to clinch the number one seed and the bye week. The Vikings didn't lose to the Lions kicking and screaming, although the kicking part is mostly true, as of all the points from the Vikings came from Will Reichard's kicks in the Lions' 31-9 victory on Sunday Night Football. Hyperturbo Skeuseball would like to take this moment to reflect on the other teams who were declared Locks of the Week winners but did not qualify to the playoffs. Thank you to the New Orleans Saints, Dallas Cowboys, and Atlanta Falcons, and while you could not reach postseason success, you did aid this program into achieving its best ever 15-3 Lock of the Week record this season. Thank you! So the tickets have been punched and the ice cube tray is refilled with water, and I just put it into the freezer so the Arnold Palmers don't reach room temperature during the football playoff action. Now, while the Arnold Palmers are chilled, Coach Harbaugh hopes that Joshua Palmer can be red hot as the LA Chargers and the Houston Texans go head to head Saturday afternoon. The LA Chargers signed Ezekiel Elliott to the practice roster in hopes to beef up the offense before their first-round exit. Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, and Joe Mixon are fixin' to show the world that last year's Texans playoff exit was a fluke and nothing but a fluke. If I was in an elevator with LA's Justin Herbert and Houston's CJ Stroud with only room for one autograph on my piece of paper, I don't care if he's got two initials for a first name. I'm going with CJ Stroud. Go back to San Diego, Harbaugh. The Texans are the underdogs at plus 2.5, so I'd put a couple bucks in that direction. Saturday night is all right for fighting, and in a matchup between the Steelers and the Ravens, we will see more fighting action than what was aired on the inaugural Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Hulk Hogan might not get booed in Baltimore, but with the Steelers' recent regality, Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson may need to enter witness protection and change their names after Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry run the ball all over the Steelers. The spread might be set at minus 9.5 in favor of the Ravens, but I'd lower it to minus 5.5 or minus 6.5 on the off chance that Justin Fields enters the game and the Pity City quarterbacks get their feet moving. And for those of you who don't speak calculator, that means take the Ravens. It has been leaked to me by a reliable source that the Denver Broncos are currently in the film room watching the all-time classic movie The Sound of Music in their preparation to climb every mountain in their Sunday 1 p.m. game. The Buffalo Bills have been chilling in the crib blasting Protect Your Neck all day long, and if you thought the Wu-Tang Clan was nothing to mess around with, I advise you to take the bus trip up or down to Orchard Park and allow me to reintroduce yourself to the Bills Mafia. Josh Allen has that certain MVP swagger in his step, and with James Cook as his running man, the Bills are getting paid on Sunday. And it would seem that this season the Eagles have been playing on easy mode due to strength of schedule and the record-smashing running of Saquon Barkley. The Packers just coming off a loss to their rivals, the Bears, and the Packers are toast. The prosciutto and Parmesan eaten Paisan Philadelphia Eagles coach Nick Sirianni may have himself home field advantage and the tush push, and sure, the Eagles are favored to win, but the Cheeseheads are winners of a completely different game. The snack game. The only dip that's come out of Philadelphia in the last 40 years is the dip in quality of pro wrestling since ECW launched. And I can't dunk Ruffles in that. America's Dairyland is behind Double J, Josh Jacobs, and his quarterback, brother Jordan Love, in their quest to bring the trophy home and dip it in a vat of melted Velveeta. The Eagles are no pushovers, but proper football snacking has taught me one thing: it ain't easy being cheesy. If the Cheeseheads don't win, they should at least cover the spread like Cheese Whiz. The skull and crossbones will be flying high, and the cannons will be booming as the commies try to foil the last fate of Florida football. Baker Mayfield will have to pull out all the stops because this ain't your granddad's Washington Redskins. I mean, your granddad's Washington Commanders. Hey, Jaden Daniels and Zach Ertz have been able to put games away as of late, so expect the lead to change 3 or 4 times in this NFC primetime showdown. The LA Rams host the Minnesota Vikings on Monday night, and I'm starting to think the Vikings lost their last game of the season on purpose. Now, instead of practicing and playing in freezing cold Minneapolis, Sam Darnold will be receiving the game time Snapolis in the sunny, breezy California. And then what? Wildfires? And they might have to move the game to Arizona? Well, I mean, it's still warmer than Minneapolis. But the Rams are favored to win this encounter. But you can call me Splatoon 3 because I've got an inkling that says we have one more Vikings versus Lions game before springtime cometh. Vikings plus 5.5 just to cover the inevitable Sam Darnold red zone blunder on Monday night. Now, who can be the lock of the week? Which NFL team won't sputter and crash out in the first round of the playoffs? The Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens seem to have the easiest paths to victory. Will the stink of the Cheeseheads linger on past the wild card weekend? With all these uncertainties floating around, Hyper Turbo Scooseball is going to rely on the tried and true. The commies lost back in '89 in Berlin and lost again in Europe in '91. Sunday night at the Ray J Stadium, the Butcher, the Candlestick Maker, and their best friend Tampa Baker strapped their helmets onto battle, Ron sanctimoniously against the commies. Washington's playoff hopes are about to be erased like 3 minutes of incriminating tape. Commies always lose, so that's why I'm gonna board the Tampa train and choo-choo-choose the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the Hyper Turbo Scooseball lock of Wild Card Weekend.